And here we go. StreamYard working properly tonight for a change. How are we? Welcome to the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Thursday. It's Thursday Tier Talk. Got a great show for you tonight. A nice blend of Champions League, Premier League, League of Ireland. Lots to talk about, as always. Joining me, as always, my co-host on these shows and soon-to-be cameraman, the Dazzler.
We'll give Anna a try, won't we, Niall?
We will, yeah, absolutely.
We will. Now, Niall, I have to just cut you off for a second before we get started, yeah?
Yeah.
Because what the people at home don't know is today is a special day, Niall, isn't it?
For both of us.
Well, I'm gonna unplug for this, Niall, yeah?
Okay.
I'm gonna unplug for this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have some people here that wanted to say something to you.
Oh, all right.
What do we say, guys?
Happy birthday to you.
Ah, look at that.
Birthday to you.
It's about half-hearted, come on.
You know.
To Niall, happy birthday to you. Hip hip,
Hooray!
hip hip,
Hooray!
hip hip.
Hooray!
So,
Well, I
give it a blow. You ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Good man, Niall.
glad to be one again. Glad to be
What do you
one
think of
again.
that? No, well, do you know why we got number 1? Because you're our number 1, pal. That's why.
I tell you. It's too
Now-
much. Listen, I'm glad my birthday brings chocolate cake to other households as
You
well. This
see,
is great.
And I knew you would feel that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Happy
Right,
days.
thank you,
Fair play,
everybody.
kiddos. Fair
Enjoy
play,
your
kiddos.
cake, and I'll see you later.
Bye, Niall.
Bye. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Right, let me plug back in.
Tell you.
Had to steal the show for a minute there, pal, yeah?
That was nearly a better sound than what I got here. I'm just saying.
Listen, pal, you know the love we have for you. You're our guy.
Absolutely. Right, let's get into the chat for a second. Make sure, folks, you're subscribing, all that other good stuff, hitting the bell notification button, drop a like video. Joanne, how are we? Hope you are good. And Baz is in as well. Evening, lads. What's the crack? Happy birthday, Noilo. Cheers, Baz. He was on to be
Good
here.
man, Baz.
Legend,
What a lad.
Legend. As
He's one of the
always.
best, our Baz.
Well, let's keep it in the vein of form. Don't forget, folks, we'll keep you updated. Shamrock Rovers versus Molde. 1-0 to Molde on the night.
Yeah.
1-1 at the moment on aggregate.
Yeah.
But Shamrock Rovers just need to be a little bit braver, and there could be really something in here for them, really make history, you know.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Right, what I want to do is, before we get into the Premier League, you sent me this today, so let's keep the good
I
vibes
did.
down, the good feel.
I did send you this today because, like, I love good feels. I love good feels. And I thought this was cool. And we've spoken a lot about the ownership at Leicester over the years and what kind of people they were, you know. And obviously, this is a Leicester fan. He went to the game and he brought a sign that he made at home. And he was looking to get a player's shirt. It's my birthday. Can I have your jersey? And unfortunately, none of the players managed to spot it. But the owner of Leicester managed to spot the kid with the sign and brought him on a little shopping expedition into the club shop to help him get a shirt and a few bits. And I just thought, isn't that why we love football? Isn't it? Like,
and a bit of work in that sign. He did a good job on the sign, in fairness.
He sure did, absolutely.
Fox there, there's a jersey.
No. He listen, he's obviously a kid who loves his club.
Yeah.
And the nice thing for us is obviously, you know, this is the equivalent of this guy buying penny jellies. But he did it and he made the kid's day. You know, I'm sure he made the kid's birthday. And it's just the right thing to do. It really is. We want kids to enjoy football. We want kids to love football. We want kids, you know, to want to be involved in football. And this is the right way to do things. Now, I don't expect the guy to go and do it for every kid. I think that would be a little bit unrealistic of the situation, but it was nice. And it was a nice touch, you know?
Yeah. And like, it's, you know, we always talk about clubs and how we want to encompass and, you know, let that environment flourish, that family environment, the way we pass down,
Absolutely.
our fandom and all that kind of stuff from generation to generation and stuff like that. And there's a kid there, he'll never forget that day. He put the effort in on the sign. The owner recognized it,
absolutely
brought him in,
yeah.
gave him a shirt. He'll cherish that shirt for the rest of his life. He'll be telling his kids and his grandkids, and his kids will be telling their grandkids down through the years of that day.
And if they're anyway like my kids, you don't get an option. There is now, which football team would you like to support? When you're born in this house, you're born a red. That's just how it is. And I'm sure that kid was probably like, there was probably more glamorous clubs he could have gone for than Leicester, but his dad might be a Leicester fan, his granddad might be a Leicester fan. It's something that you pass down from generation to generation, and that's just the way it is. It's tops. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And like, speaking of supporting clubs and stuff like that, I don't know if you've seen, I put a post up on Twitter there today. I reshared it, and it was the City fans last night leaving the ground after 62 minutes to Bernabeu, and I was thinking, that's shocking. That's shocking. You know what I mean? That encompasses everything that we think about that situation. And there was a guy outside, Spanish guy. He must have been a vlogger, but he was also a journalist or something and he had the little mics and stuff like that. And he was asking them for comment and opinion walking out. And
no interest.
None of them really wanted to know. One or two stopped to give a little bit of opinion, and the rest of them out of here, kind of thing. It's sad to see it. You know what I mean? Because it goes to show you sometimes kind of like, I wouldn't call it new success, because we know City have won some things down through the years and stuff like that now. But I have
to disagree with you. I would call it's new money. It's new money.
No,
it's
new
the
money,
it's the kid from the council estate winning the lotto, and blowing it up his nose, or that's the kind of thing it is. Like, it's distasteful, but we know City fans are a bit like that anyway. We don't know too many of them. You have to go hunting at an under 14s disco to find a City fan. So I don't have any time for them. I really don't. Like, and it's not a hatred thing, because they're successful. Like, Liverpool are a successful club. I've nothing but respect for them. I just don't feel that way about City. It's just,
and I think I have respect. I have respect for the fans who stayed there and endured it, because it's not easy. It's not easy, but I don't think, we spoke about it only on last week's show, you should never leave a game. Never leave a game.
Ever leave a game.
Doesn't matter what it is. I posted on Twitter today. I said, if my team was 10-0 down, I'm there till the 90th. I'm there. I'm
probably there till the 95th, because I want to at least give them a bit of stick as they're coming off. Because they're ours, that's
it. Keith, then, that was the same in my house as well. My dad supported Liverpool since the 60s, and I started supporting Liverpool because of him since 1994.
Well, Keith, I can tell you a little something. I can tell you a little something. My dad was actually an Arsenal fan, and I'm born in 84, so early 90s is kind of George Graham territory. Arsenal are a reasonable side. They've obviously got Bold, Adams, Seaman, Winterburn, Dixon, guys like this, and then obviously you Bergkamp and Henry's. But I was kind of floating for a little while. I was a little bit undecided. I'd have a little look at Liverpool, and I
know where this is going.
I'd have a little look at. I don't think you do. I'd have a little look at at Arsenal, and I'd always think to myself, which is mine. Now, as a child, for me, the thing was, I always wanted to be out playing football and kicking a football around. But actually sitting and watching football matches wasn't really, really high on my list. And I'll tell you what happened. My sister started going out with a lad, and his family were staunch United fans. Now, I mean staunch. He's one of there was 5 boys. Keaton, Richard, there was 5 boys. Mum and dad are from Finglas, and he ended up marrying my sister. Now they're divorced now, so we won't talk about the war. But my older brother, he had no interest in football. He wasn't a football fan. Whereas Declan, who was my brother-in-law, everything was United. He was staunch United. And we got to one Christmas, and himself and my sister were buying me a Christmas present. And he'd probably seen me in 4 or 5 jerseys at this stage, because again, I'm the kid in the street, and I recall vividly having an Ipswich jersey at one time. Because my dad was always, John Walk and stuff like that, and so I remember having that, and I got to the Christmas, and of course, Christmas morning comes, sister's handing me this present, and I'm waiting for this big present, because you're like, yes, what are we getting? And I'm getting this really small little present, and I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah, And I open it up, and it's a Man United jersey. And that was in about, I say it was about 91, maybe 92. And that was it then. It was like, this is your, and Declan would come down to the house and he'd say, where's your jersey? Why haven't you got it on? And I was very close to him. So I'd always be like, oh, it's in the washer. I'll go and get it. And, blah, blah. And you do a few bit. And so it was him. And obviously it didn't work out with the sister, but he gave me my football club. And I've had 32 years probably of supporting Man United. And it was the best thing anyone could have given me.
And see, the divorce was the opportunity to change governments. Could have changed then, Then you wouldn't have had to go through the last 12 years of hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true.
And continuing even worse. I don't know if did you see the leaks today? Really bad.
Tell me about today on things that didn't happen. Come on, let's hear.
Well, apparently the leaks today, as reported, were that apparently they're changing the portion size of the food, and apparently they're cutting back on the sellotape. This is what leaked today. It's getting ridiculous. I sent it to you earlier about how this whole negative pile on Ineos is crazy, and how we felt that the Glazers put them out there, didn't they, as a battering ram, really, didn't they?
And I have to tell you,
and Ineos paid handsomely for it too.
What a move by the Glazers.
Yeah. Tell you.
What a move. Now, I'll tell you what I have seen. I've seen quite a bit of talk, and we discussed this previously, about our friend the Sheikh in the background here. There's a lot of rumblings there, that apparently the only way to kind of get out of the situation we're in is to get rid of the payments on the loan. And the only way that can be done is if somebody buys the club over. Now, the Glazers, obviously, at the minute, probably don't want to get rid of the cash cow that's doing what it's doing for them. But if it gets to a stage where it's becoming a bigger problem, and if Ineos want to take things in a different direction and there's a cross line there, maybe then there's it's time to cut ties here, and our work here is done.
They had that get out, didn't they? Isn't there a thing in the contract?
There's an 18-month thing, isn't there?
That they can take it back, or 2 years or whatever it was. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. But it's mad to see how strangled the club is at the moment. For a club that generates so much revenue to be so strangled, like it's insane.
It will also just show. And I'm not a let's put everything at the Glazers' door. We've spent an awful lot of money over the years. It's been spent really, really poorly. I think if you look at the club as a business, it's been massively neglected, and it's been ran, terribly. At a time when football became a business, this was still, we were living in the past, and we didn't reach a lot of the criteria that most of the good clubs and most of the big clubs in Europe reached, and we let things dwindle everywhere. And that, as much as I'm not a Glazers out kind of thing, that can only be left at the door of the Glazers because they were the owners of the club.
Yeah, no, I actually had some free time at the weekend. Hillary obviously was away, so I had a bit of time, and I was watching again a movie that's a phenomenal movie, Saving Private Ryan. And when the scene came when they hit the beach and they dropped the decks on the boats, and the lads are just getting sprayed, they're just getting killed left, right, and centre from the snipers up on the hills and stuff. I was thinking, that's exactly what the Glazers done. They're sitting back in these boats, and they've sent these guys in here onto the beach there,
absolutely,
like lambs to the slaughter. Like, what I mean? It's mad. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, and the fact that they paid whatever it was, 2.0 billion or whatever for the privilege. Makes it even matter, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. I heard Man U won't have a lot to spend this summer. I don't know how true that is, to be honest. Well, they're looking like they're going to shift out a good fair old crew anyway, aren't they? So
they are. And the other thing is, and I've been reading a lot on this, is the amortization of the contracts. Because although some of the fees that guys will leave for don't look huge, it's a huge portion of the contract, to the point where the deal that we've done with Chelsea for Sancho means if he leaves for what he's supposed to leave for, we actually make a profit on him.
Yeah, because you've amortized some of the years off.
We've amortized exactly,
yeah.
Which you know would be phenomenal to think we've got him out the door. We've got the wage bill down. Now, like the issue I feel is going to be for us, not that we don't have money to spend. There will be money spent. I fully expect United to go out and spend the best part of 200 million this summer. You know, that will be off the back of a number of things. One of the things that'll be off the back of is the wage structure being restructured. You know, there's a lot of guys there going to go out the door. The big earners, the Casemiros, the Anthonys, the Sanchos, the Rashford, guys like that. And there'll be levels to how things go when you come in the door and out at United.
Obviously, pending European football as well, what happens there and all, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing is we've seen already that there's a lot of... That's got to be a back pass now. Wow. Thought that looked like a back pass to me in the Molde Rovers game. That should have been the referee.
The refereeing's a little bit strange as well, because they'd have nailed on Penno in the first half as well.
Molde or Rovers?
Rovers, and they didn't get it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, player was going into the box and the keeper brought his arm up like that and tripped him.
Right, okay. But I do expect stuff to continue in a similar vein to last summer, where there's a heavy concentration of younger players brought into the club. You know, the best in class at certain age groups, like they did with the boy Cheeto and Martin, Cheeto Obi, and you know the boy Sekou Kone and stuff like this. There'll be a lot more of that, and there'll be a building behind the scenes, because obviously the financial side of things is going to be so important going forward for clubs. If we bring a guy like a Sekou Kone in and he costs us 3-4 million, something like that, and he plays a few games at United and we shift him out the door of 40 million, that's huge profit, which then lets you go back into the market and reinvest and stuff like that. And you know, so it'll be done differently, like it was last year. There'll be big names coming in, and then there'll be a lot of those younger lads that they're coming in to try and nurse along to generate revenue in the years to come.
The other thing I noticed, and probably because it was the January window as well, I think there's kind of been a reality reset in the market as well. Like when you see the likes of Kvaratskhelia moving for 60 odd million, who was pinned at over 100 million.
I think that's what PSR is doing.
Yeah, there's a reset.
That's what PSR is doing. Which, to be honest, like,
was needed.
We're delighted with. Absolutely.
Oh, it was 100% needed. Ridiculous. Like you hear Newcastle at the moment talking about there's no conversation about Isaac unless it's 150 million. It's just not going to happen. It's just
that ain't happening unless you're getting that good Saudi Arabian money. Otherwise, I think you're probably at what, 70 to 80.
You're probably closer. You're closer to 100, I'd say, but 150 is just absolutely.
I think if you put now in saying that, listen, don't forget Newcastle had 70 million on the table last year for Mark Gahey and couldn't get a deal done.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
You might find in the summer with the reset as well, and also the fact that Mark Gahey has had kind of a drop off. He hasn't been as good this season as last season. I think you may have they may regret it.
Oh, should have been a goal. Ball came into the back stick, came to the boy Graham Burke, and he takes it. It's a great cross. He's completely unmarked at the back post, and he takes the ball down. And as he takes it down, it jumps back up, which makes the volley a little bit more difficult. He has to wait for it to drop, and as it drops, he volleys it, and the defender gets across to block it. That was a big chance. Big chance. He needs to probably hit that first time. The thing I would say about Gahey is I don't think the drop-off has been from Gahey. I think the drop-off has been a Palace in general. Because to be honest with you, if you've watched any of Gahey, he's been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal. It's much more of a result situation with Palace. and them dropping the level as opposed to him falling off. Get in. Oh, headed off the line here. Rovers pushing.
Rovers pushing hard here now for a winner.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
Absolutely.
Lads, forget about this Isaac Darwin deal. It's absolute nonsense. Please, give me a break. Just give me a break. This is not going to happen.
If I'm Liverpool, it's a deal I want to do. Let's not. Oh, that's stayed. Let's not beat around the bush. That's a deal. If Liverpool can do, they do it all day long and twice on a Sunday. However, I don't know if I'm Newcastle and I've an asset the way I value Alexander Isak. Is Darwin Núñez, part of the conversation for me? I personally, watching what he's done in the league, I don't think he could be part of the thinking for me. I think I'd want that 80, 90 million and be able to reinvest it myself rather than.
But you think about the deal. Liverpool at the moment had 70 million on the table with Saudi at Christmas or in January. They're not going to give him up to Newcastle for 70 plus 20 million to get Isaac out of there. That ain't going to happen because Newcastle are not going to value him at 70. Nowhere near in a deal like that.
No, but I think if you were selling to the league, that there's a differential in price than there would be if you were going to Saudi. So I don't think. I think the issue would be, would Newcastle accept Darwin Núñez and 30 million, 60 to 90? Like, I personally wouldn't.
No,
I think you don't get enough out of it.
The cleanest deal here is we shift Darwin out. He goes to Saudi or whatever it is. We get top bank for that. And then we just go in and we negotiate a deal that's just all cash there or whatever way they want to do it. I know they were interested in
Rovers
Joe Gomez.
Pushing here. Rovers pushing. They've got, I think it looks like Mold have gotten away with one again here. The boy Noonan causing a bit of trouble up front. Nicks it from the centre back. They get in onto the keeper, and as they get in, he challenged in the back. Like it's probably borderline.
Yeah.
But again, it hasn't gone Rovers' way. It definitely looks like at the minute it's going to be a night of what could have been, but hopefully one will go in. Hopefully that changes. Yeah, it'd be great to see them.
Yeah, hopefully one go in. I don't know if you caught the game earlier, the Roma Porto game, which was an absolute madness from the ref.
I didn't.
I don't know. There was an incident in it where the player pushed one player and the other player kind of did this to him on the arm. And the ref sent him off and gave the other guy a yellow card. There was absolutely nothing in it at all, you know what I mean? Wow. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because that's not in FSG's world. This is all just the usual bullshit of war chess.
I would have to ask, and the question I would have to ask is, if Acers is as big a football fan as he claims to be, what would make him believe that FSG were going to cough up 150 million for Alexander Isak?
If we're spending 150 million, we'll want 3 or 4 players for that.
Or 6.
Let's get real here. Yeah.
Like, let's fucking hell, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's run down through the Prem, yeah?
Yes.
Leicester Brentford tomorrow night. Do some of them really quick and some of them we'll focus on because obviously some are more pivotal.
Yeah, like I can't see anything other than Brentford. I think Leicester have been plucky in the last couple of weeks, but plucky's not good enough to keep you in the league. They're just conceding too many goals. And I'm going to go Brentford.
Being poor at home.
Yeah, they have, yeah. And I'm going to go Brentford 3-1.
Yeah. Everton, Man United.
Really not looking forward to this, if I'm honest with you. I've really bad memories of going to Goodison as a United fan.
Well, at least this is your last time.
and what makes it worse is I've really bad memories going to Goodison in that 12:30 kickoff. Because they seem to stiff us every time we get there in that 12:30. So I don't really hold an awful lot of hope for Saturday. I think Everton are in very good form. We know that. And United aren't. We're not. Like, I think what would be a good day at the office for United would probably to nick a draw. But I don't necessarily see it. And I don't agree with him too often, but I'm going to go Everton 2-1.
It's probably nearly the first time on this show you've nearly gone against them, isn't it? But like, it's the position that you're in.
It's not. It's a realism of the situation we're in at the minute, which I don't lay at the manager's door, by the way, at all. But that's where we are at the minute, and I think it's going to be tough. I think a good season for us at the minute is probably finishing 15th or 14th or something like that, and pressing that reset button.
And
And
you're Europa,
I don't
you're
hold
an FA
any.
Cup.
Yeah, I don't hold any hopes in either. If I'm brutally honest, just because I think why would your cup form be different than your Premier League form? We've seen teams, struggle at times in the league and had an outlet in the FA Cup or in the Europa, so maybe that'll happen, but I don't necessarily see it.
You'd imagine, I suppose, similar to the Merseyside derby last week as well. Everton have certain teams that they have history with, and
absolutely,
it's the last Goodison game as well.
It's Goodison.
I mean?
It's David Moyes. David Moyes will be absolutely gunning for Man United. Absolutely gunning. He's never given us an easy time ever as a manager. So yeah,
even when he was with us,
even when he was with us, and I still think he got a raw deal. But there you go.
Yeah. Right. Arsenal West Ham, pivotal game of the title race.
Yeah, really pivotal. Really, really pivotal. I suppose Arsenal have built a huge amount of their success on clean sheets and on that's a free ref. Come on, will you?
Yeah.
This boy is causing huge trouble here. The boy Noonan. He is causing huge trouble down this left-hand side. He's just got the centre. He's dragged the centre back out again. It's the same centre back who fouled him a couple of minutes ago. And he's got goal side of him again. And your man's had to pull him down. He's on a yellow now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him change. Because if Noonan keeps going down this line, your man's going to walk at it with 10 men. It'll be a much different job for Rovers here. Arsenal have built this title tilt on defensive solidity. They haven't been free flowing. They haven't scored loads of goals. I think the thing that probably suits them with West Ham is West Ham aren't scoring a lot of goals either. So I think this is a game where Arsenal can go and nick it 1-0, 2-0 and get out of there with 3 points, close the gap and move. And I think that's what will happen. I'm going to go Arsenal 1-0.
Okay, big up Romy. Congrats last night, by the way. Outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and a great performance, but didn't it just look like, the boy that the boy Mbappe was born to play in that jersey?
Yeah, he looked so impressive last night.
He was so good. He really was. From the word go, any half chance, he was just alive to it. He was alert to it. He was really a guy who was focused on the job, and you just thought, wow, like the sky is the limit because this kid is still so young.
Squad, they've quite a young squad when you look.
They have a really young squad. Yeah.
That's a squad potentially there at times. Lots of really important pieces in it. Can function for a decade or more.
Absolutely. The boy Asensio looks very good at centre back.
Camavinga,
you've Arda Güler and Hendrick there who didn't really play a part either. You've Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. still young as well. Hit it. Unlucky. No, there's a lot there. There really is a lot there. They're a phenomenal team. Phenomenal.
Cut out Man City without breaking a sweat. He certainly did.
He did. Yeah.
There was men against boys actually, and the drop off was huge as well. Bournemouth versus Wolves. Ryan's in there. Ryan, give us your prediction for Bournemouth versus Wolves if you're in the chat here.
I think we can't talk about Wolves without talking about the elephant in the room, which is Matthias Cunha again. Phenomenal last weekend. Absolutely phenomenal. It's a great goal. A great goal against Liverpool. Takes it very, very well. Drops off. Allows the boys to get back in and reset and just opens the body up. It's a great goal. I think he's a guy who will be linked heavily with lots of places this summer. There's a lot of teams are circling the boy Cunha. And I think he's been a shining light for them. So well done to him. I think Bournemouth have been phenomenal. Just phenomenal. We shortlisted Iriola to replace Carlo Ancelotti. Well, it's about 6 months ago I spoke about having him on the shortlist for Eric to be Eric Ten Hag's. To be Eric Ten Hag's replacement. So I can't disagree with you. I think if you gave Andoni Iriola, the kind of crown jewels that you have at Real Madrid, go on. I think you could see something very, very special. Because as good as some of the players are at Bournemouth, there's no real jewels. You know, everybody plays a part in the overall, and he gets a terrific tune out of the players that he has at his disposal, and he gets the absolute max. He wrings every little bit out of that squad, but he doesn't have a lot of crown jewels. Now at Real Madrid, that could be scary. That could be scary.
Timing could be good as well, because there is a couple of little tasty players there at Bournemouth that may not be there come next season.
Well, I mean, if here's something I will tell you as well. If Antonio Raiola goes to replace Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid, the very first player he's taken with him is the boy Huijsen, the centre back.
Linked with us today as well, yeah. And the boy
he's obviously Spanish. He would have played under Raiola. He is one of the top prospects at centre back in probably world football at the minute. He is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. This kid,
and the centre back issue at Real is a bit problematic at the moment.
So I mean, you could go in with him and the boy Asensio, and all of a sudden you've your two centre backs for the next 10 years.
Here's a question then: who are you going with? If those three are on the list, Romy, who do you want? Darren, who would you take? Alonso, Nagelsmann, Iraola.
Nagelsmann would be bottom of the list for me. It would be Alonso or Iraola for me. I suppose we can't look past what Alonso has managed to do with Leverkusen and breaking that Bayern stranglehold and stuff like that. And obviously having the history at Real as well. I think it was probably sue him to take the bigger job. But geez, don't write the boy Iraola out, because he's been phenomenal for Bournemouth. He really, really has.
Yeah, I think Acers, that'd be a bad move from him. I think Iraola's next move from where he is to somewhere really ambitious and wants to win stuff. That next step up. I
don't think Spurs are unambitious though.
Oh, do you not think?
No, I don't. Not when you look at the type of bread they spend. They're not unambitious. I think part of the problem is
look at how they spend it.
Okay, so that's an issue. The recruitment is 110% an issue.
It's unambitious.
No, there's enough money being spent to not be unambitious. Do you know what I mean? Great ball. I definitely don't think it's a lack of ambition from Spurs. If you look at the stadium, if you look at what they've invested in the squad, I think the issue is, at times they've gone in and they've spent to a level, where they just need to go a little bit further to get best in class here or there to put them into the picture. But there's a lot of money gets spent at Spurs. Now again, some of it is bad. Some of the money being spent is just being pissed up against the wall, and that's the issue. They need to get a bit better, Spurs, at their recruitment to make sure that every penny that goes into that football club goes in the right direction into pulling that team up there.
Yeah, I think every signing now should be absolutely scrutinized. They should look at how they're spending. They should look as if they can level up if it's a little bit more that they spend. They need to show a level. I call it ambition when you do that. For years, Liverpool went in and they got their third or fourth choice. They didn't get first or second. It's a lack of ambition. It's 100% a lack of ambition. And they just, for me, it's frustrating as well. Spurs should be a big club. They should win things. They have everything there set in the foundation of it and stuff like that and all. As you said, they spend money, but instead of buying two players,
they do. Yeah, they spend money.
But as you said before on the podcast, instead of getting two players for 120 million, 60 million each, they buy four players with that or three players with that.
Yeah.
And that's because they want the volume in, they level down.
And that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's beautiful football.
Yeah.
But that is the problem. So the money is being spent, but they're always just trying to get a little more than they can for their buck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree, Keith.
I watched actually. I watched Wolves last weekend. They played Liverpool. And we've spoken about the boy Aiton Uri.
Yeah.
And then I watched Bournemouth. And I watched the boy Kirkes. And I got to tell you, I think the boy Kirkes has an awful lot more to offer than Aiton Uri does. I think it's a harder deal to do. And it's a more expensive deal to do. But I think if as you say, you want to go and you want to get like, you know, your first choice, I think the boy Kirkes has to be top of the list, doesn't he?
Yeah, I would think so. I like him. I like Aiton Uri. I like the boy Robinson of Fulham. There's a few
I
there
don't
that
think
I like.
I don't think Aiton Uri is at the level of either of the two boys.
Do you know
And-
what it is? I'm not. I don't necessarily think it's that. I think you look at Kerkez and you look at Robinson, and they look really nice in the way they play. Their flow and it's glossy and it's, you know, there's a lot to like about it. Aiton Uri at times battles hard and he looks a bit awkward and stuff like that, but he's still a very, very good footballer. But
He is. He's a solid footballer. But
yeah.
again, hang on, we're in trouble here. If I'm at Liverpool, do I want solid?
He lacks swagger.
He does. And I don't necessarily think he's as good going forward as either of the two boys. The boy Robinson is an assist machine. Because I have him in fantasy football, so I'm watching him week to week, you know. Fulham very rarely have clean sheets, but he still does very well with points because of this is brilliant from Rovers. Hit it. Oh, finish it. It's a great move. I tell you what, Rovers are playing some great football here.
Phenomenal.
Stephen Bradley can be very, very proud of what he's done here at Shamrock
He's also battered with injuries, remember, as well. That's why the boy Noonan and all is getting his chance, which is great to see. It's great that you uncover that, you know.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
There we go. He'd have him over Alfonso. What did you go here? Bournemouth Wolves? I'm
going to go Bournemouth 3-1.
3-1. Ryan won't be happy with you. Fulham versus Crystal Palace?
I don't think this is going to be the highlight reel that we talk about on Monday, put it that way. I think probably it'll be a good game, but I don't think there'll be too many goals in it. There's two decent keepers, two decent back fours. I think I'll just go 1-1 here.
For Fulham and Palace?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Great ball.
I had the other view that I thought there might be some goals in this. Fulham starting to find their shooting boots again, or no?
No, neither of them score lots of goals. That's what has them where they are. Right. If there's over 2.5, over 2.5 will be 3. We might get 3. I don't think there's any more than 3 in it. And if it's 3, someone's nicking it 2-1. But I think 1-1. That's where I'm going with it.
Ipswich, Tottenham.
I think this is more relief for Spurs. I think this is Spurs again. Obviously, a couple of players back last weekend was a huge help for them. Getting the boy Vicario back in goal and stuff like that. And I think Spurs will probably start to get a little bit of traction now. I think the clean sheet was important for them. And I think Ipswich, again, as good as they've been, they're just not able to score enough goals to win a game. That's part of the problem.
They were brilliant against Villa the other night, down to 10 men.
They were, but
great performance. Now I know Villa should have got the business done, but still
they should have. And that's the problem. They did well to hang on in there. The boy Alex Palmer, who's the third keeper they've used this season, had an absolute worldie of a game. And it ended up 1-1. But I don't think if he can give up the same amount of chances this week at Spurs, I think Spurs will win the game. I'm going to go Spurs 2-1 here.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan here. I don't think Wolves are going to go down, do you?
Not at all. No.
I don't.
Oh, do you know what? Wolves could finish ahead of us.
Jesus. Even the thoughts of that, like, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
17th not bad at the minute. Like 17th is. Yeah,
don't forget tomorrow, folks. Champions League draw tomorrow, isn't it? So we'll have a little bit of a video reaction now for that. I'll pull something out of the bag on the way home or something for it.
What time's it on it?
It's usually around 11, isn't it? It's normally around 11ish, somewhere
Yeah,
between
home at
11 and
11, will you?
No, on the way home, I'll cut a video on the draw. My
Oh,
thoughts on it.
sorry.
That's
Sorry. I was
right.
thinking, I was going, Jesus.
StreamYard here is strangling me on my limit, you see. So I have to make a few videos as well as lives.
Right, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know.
Right, Southampton, Brighton.
I really like plucky Southampton. I do. I think the boy that's come in has done a really, really good job. Juric, I think he's done a very, very good job. I hope Southampton are clever and they keep him, because with how they're playing at the minute, if they keep him and head into that championship next season with 70% of that squad, they'll come straight back up. You know, Brighton again, having good days, having bad days, little bit of inconsistency there at Brighton. But I think this weekend, you know, there'll be more than enough there from Brighton to get over the line. And I'm going to go Brighton here. I'm going to go Brighton.
You expect them to ride the wave of the two big wins against Chelsea, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that can be the problem sometimes, though. You know, when you go and you beat a Chelsea, and then you don't reach those levels. You know, yeah, that's it. But I think Brighton will do it. I'll go Brighton. Let's go Brighton 3-2.
I think am I right in thinking the way the draw works? The likelihood is, I think is it Monaco or PSG? Am I right?
It's PSG or Benfica, from what I believe.
Okay, I thought Monaco was in that conversation at some stage. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll know tomorrow anyway. So I'm not really that worried about him.
Were they not in the stage? Were they not in the conversation until they got knocked out? Was that not what happened?
Who?
Monaco.
The Monaco are out, are they?
Yeah, that's where the conversation was. So you've PSG or Brest, and then you Benfica or Monaco. So Benfica went through 4-3.
Yeah,
so you've Benfica or PSG.
PSG, yeah. So
the other team gets Barcelona.
Okay.
So Liverpool and Barcelona are first and second seeds, let's say.
Yeah.
And when the draw is done, Liverpool will either get PSG or Benfica, and Barca will get the opposite team.
Yeah, I don't mind who we get at this stage.
Well, I think right now you probably want Benfica.
Yeah, although there's a lot to be said for drawing against, you know, like the approach, like a top team. I think for us, it's kind of like, I think when we kind of go that way with the draw, I think it's kind of like, it gives me Plymouth feels. You know that, like, if we
but he's not. You're not. He's not going to go out
game
against Benfica with Plymouth team, with Plymouth vibes. You know what I mean?
You'll
play the whole. You'll play the no flush, and that'll be enough. Whereas, like, PSG put 10 past Brest. There's a lot of decent players there at PSG at the minute. They are pouring. Do I think they're, you know, at the same level as Liverpool are? I don't. But I think if I had a straightforward, who do I want? I'd want Benfica. I think it's an easier tie.
Yeah, absolutely. Hansi Flick has Barca playing quality. If I was Liverpool fan, I'd advise them and take the French farmers. Yeah, they're not. No, they're not in the conversation.
They're not in it. They can't. He can't reach them. They can't get them to the finals. I don't think.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of the draw.
Yeah, there we go. Aston Villa, Chelsea.
Yeah. Listen. This will be the battle of the two freedom fighters. Or street fighters, whatever you want to call them. They're both shite. And I'm not talking about Chelsea and Aston Villa. It's just Sancho and Rashford I'm talking about. We'll obviously get to see an embrace where they act like, you know, two schoolboys coming out of the disco on a Friday night, and they'll be giggling and laughing. But if you look at both of them last weekend, both of the lads were absolute dog shit. Against Brighton, Sancho was dirt, absolutely dirt. He gave away the ball more than any other player on the pitch. And Rashford in the two games, 10 men against Ipswich, and then was hooked after an hour against Liverpool. Brought nothing to the table. So this will be the battle of the freedom fighters. I do think get in. I do think Villa have a lot more going for them at the minute. Although I do also think there's a little issue at the back there, because I watched the boy, the Sassy, the other night. He didn't have a great game. He was very poor. And I think without Disassi as well, things could get worse, which is hard to believe. But I think they need to find a solution at the back there. Probably not a great time to let the boy Diego Carlos leave. But I still think Villa will have enough here. I think Villa have a little bit in hand over Chelsea, and I'm going to go Villa 2-1.
Interesting. Chelsea Dodgers FC.
Yeah.
Newcastle 3-2 against Forest. Yeah, we'll get on to that now. Newcastle Forest then into Sunday. Two big games. Newcastle Forest and Man City Liverpool.
Yeah, so I'll go with Joanne on this. I don't think there'll be that many goals. Both teams defensively are generally quite good. I don't think there'll be that many goals, but I think Newcastle will win it. And I'm going to go Newcastle 2-1. And that's a little look into the crystal ball at might beat the bookie later.
If I remember with my one, I might have went the other way. I'm not too sure.
I've gone Newcastle and both to score anyway. I know that.
Yeah, I think I did two, and I did a League of Ireland one as well. But maybe I went the other way because I know there's draws in there as well. Maybe I went a draw on it. I'm not too sure. And City Liverpool then obviously going to be huge, especially if Arsenal do get the business done against West Ham. This game becomes a very big game. Man City obviously hurting from the beating last night at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
What did you make for last night? I don't know. They looked way off the pace. Well, now we know that Madrid are obviously at the pinnacle of fitness and speed and counter and transition and all that kind of stuff. So they make a lot of teams look slow.
And you know what? I think that was kind of part of it. I think as much as City were poor, I thought Real were excellent. I thought
City look beat up by this season, don't they?
They do, and like as the fan of another team that looks a bit beat up, it every week looks like a tough day at the office. It's a struggle. Yeah. It's hard, and we're making it hard for ourselves. And City are in the same boat. Obviously there's levels to this, and we're levels below City. But I do think it's going to be a tough day at the office for them. I think to get back up, for a game like they have on Sunday is going to be really, really difficult. And I actually think Liverpool are going to beat them, and I think this could be a statement victory for Liverpool. And the reason I think it could be statement is, and there's two reasons to this. Number one, I think this could get messy for City. I think we could see Liverpool really dazzle on Sunday and do something crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool 4-1.
You see Liverpool playing at the moment, and as frustrating as it is with the amount of attempts and chances and all that kind of stuff, I did say this morning to a couple of guys on Twitter, we're going to give someone a hiding. It's coming.
Right.
We're eventually going to hit the back of the net with everything that we hit.
Someone is going to take a beating. And just because of the way things have gone for City this season, I think it could be them. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Liverpool 4-1. And I think the other thing that does is, if Liverpool can go to the empty head and get that victory, it gives them that 8-point bounce again, but it also gives them that we've just gone and beaten the champions. No reason why we can't.
Does it going to give a body blow to Arsenal?
I don't know if it gives a body blow to Arsenal, but I think it does as much for Liverpool as it does to detract from what Arsenal are doing. Because I think what's important at the minute is, it's not necessary. Liverpool can only just do what they do. It's them dropping points that has opened the door.
3 points on box ticking, knocking games off. 3 points.
Yeah, it's Liverpool, reluctance to win games that's gotten them into the position they're in, rather than Arsenal being unbelievable. So I just think if Liverpool can do this, it'll give themselves the confidence to go and step up and finish what they started, kind of thing,
I don't know, Romy. You tell me. You tell me. I don't know how he missed it.
Do you want to know what the worst part of all of that was? I had Szoboszlai in fantasy football.
He had a couple of chances on the night as well himself. There was a lot of heat on him today. I don't know if you noticed on social media. A lot of heat going in on him, going, "What the hell are you doing squaring it to him for?" And listen, do you know what? The same fans, my fan base drives me insane. The same fans over the last few weeks have been screaming at Liverpool players not to shoot and to square it. And then when the guy who was arguably our best player last night, Sabozalai, squares it and puts it on a plate, and because it was Darwin, and Darwin missed it,
110% the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Crazy. If you make that decision, make that decision 100 times, is he getting a yellow for it? Hang on. Is this a second? Is this he? Stand up, pal. Hold on. This is the guy that Noonan ran absolutely riot. He's just taken his second yellow and he is off down the tunnel. It's great work from,
what are we here?
Subs.
Are we extra times here and penalties?
Or extra time and penalties, but Rovers will now play 11v10 in extra time for 30 minutes.
It's just gone into extra time there now. It's full time going into extra time.
Absolutely super from Shamrock Rovers.
It's a massive opportunity.
Hats off to you. Now, do you know what I love seeing? They've just panned to the crowd and the fans are bouncing. If you've ever needed your fans, you need them now. You're 1-1 with a team who have a decent European pedigree in Molde, and you are going into 30 minutes of added time. You have 10v11. This is your biggest opportunity to ever do this. You need them fans to lift you. You need them fans to drag you through this. And this should be it. This should be their chance. Yeah, come on, Rovers.
This would be fantastic. I don't know if you've seen Stephen Bradley's interview as well.
I did.
Did you see the one where he was on about the program notes being left out?
Yeah. He sent them in on the 28th of January and they were sent. Yeah.
There's a lot of people were saying, he's just feeling a bit bitter because of the Bowles result. It was absolutely nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with it.
What did you make of the comments from the Ireland manager? Before we'll get into the League of Ireland stuff now in a second.
I can understand from a national point of view, the manager saying, if we want to progress as a country, we need our players to step to that next level. Yeah. I can understand that. Now, I think part of it might be, when English isn't your first language and you word it and you put a slight word in a wrong spot, it can just be enough.
It came across like he was shitting on the league.
And I don't think that's what he tried to do at all. I think he fully understands that, if you're a Mason Mealy, if you're a Michael Noonan, you have to go to the UK to try and develop as a player so that we get the benefit of a Michael Noonan or a Mason Mealy in the national team in years to come. And I don't think he's wrong about that.
Is there a case from what we've seen for picking sometimes players into the Ireland squad from the league?
I think generally,
even not necessarily maybe at the start, but to be involved and stuff like that. Like we've looked at some of the Irish teams over the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. There's certainly a case there for some of these players, isn't there?
Like, I kind of see it as if you talk about Rovers and Shells and Pats being the three kind of bigger teams in the league. If we put them into a certain standard in the UK, would they be playing Champions League? Would they be playing Premier League? They wouldn't. Would they be playing Championship? I don't know, is the answer. I know they'd play League One. So if you're talking about the standard of our Tristy League being the upper end of League One and the lower end of the Championship, is that where we want to be picking from as an international team? I don't think so. I think we need to be trying to pick guys who are involved in the Premier League or who are in the top division of other countries, i.e., a Troy Parrott. The boy, John Joe, the lad that's now playing in France. There's guys here and there, the Jake O'Briens that were in the Leon squad and stuff like that. There are success stories outside of. I think if we start looking at League One, to be the kind of marker for where we're picking our players from, we're going to find even bigger trouble than we've hit already. You know? So for me, the answer would be no, because I think if the players in the league are good enough, they will get the call to a standard. And if they reach that standard, be it Championship or Premier League, then I think, you know, we should look at them. But I don't think any lower than that we should be glancing at, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't really know what the feeling is at the moment. It's very hard to gauge it because he's the kind of guy for me. I can't make a connection with him yet. I don't know about you. He's quite he feels quite aloof away from us. That he's a guy who's managing the team.
There's a disconnect. There is a disconnect, and the disconnect is he's not Irish for a start. Right now, that's not a huge issue because we've had guys in and do the job. You know, Trapattoni, Charlton, McCarthy. We've had guys come in, do the job who weren't Irish. So there's no big issue there. But I do think the problem is when things went south under Kenny, there was a real hope around who would come in next. You know, oh, maybe it's going to be this guy. Maybe it'll be this guy. Maybe it'll be this guy. And then eventually when he was named, it was such a damp squib.
Bradley was asked the question, and did you see Bradley's answer in the interview?
No.
He was asked about the officer in the FAI, and he made the comment. He says, well, he told us this guy because he's a real crutch to bear now with this Icelandic lad managing Ireland and all, and real crutch on it.
Well, I don't know if it's as much him as it is the FAI themselves.
No. The issue was the FAI. Make no mistake. Yes. Because he turned around and he said, we were told he was the first choice. Do you think he was the first choice? He said to the reporter, and the reporter said no. And he says, well, you don't need me to say anything. Then
absolutely, absolutely, and that's it. That's it in a. Don't let Morris hear you saying that. Morris isn't a fan of Adamida. Actually, come to think about it, Niall's not a fan of Adamida either, are you, Niall?
No. I'm probably more a fan of Adamida at club level than I was at international level. But I think it's always a huge conundrum. Some of these guys look great at club level, and then they come in, and just when you put that 11 together that kind of hasn't played together, they all look like strangers at times and all. And the Ireland team has been so disjointed, you know.
It absolutely has. It absolutely has. I think it's something. It's something, you know, we do need to, there needs to be more of a connection with the fans, and we've lost that. And that was always one of our pluses. You know, you think of Italia 90, you think of USA 94, you think of Poland and Germany and stuff like that. Scales is a decent centre-back. He's decent. He is. And you stick him in beside a Nathan Collins. Collins a decent centre-back. It's not necessarily one-off players. Your problem is getting somebody for every position, because you're always carrying one or two everywhere. And that's the problem, because you're playing against teams that aren't carrying lads anywhere, and then it becomes very, very difficult, you know? Like, and look at, for example, we have to carry fucking Doherty nearly every game. Like...
And we should say, without giving too much away, in another couple of weeks, we'll be very focused on Germany and Stuttgart 88 and Euro 90, won't we? When you think about it.
I don't know, will we?
Cheap plug. I think we will be. I think we very much will be, won't we?
Cheap plug? I have no idea.
You do have. You're going to be doing camera work, aren't you?
Oh, sorry, that took me a minute. Sorry, yeah.
Speaking of Stuttgart 88 and Italian 90.
Yeah. Sorry, that took a moment. That didn't land at all.
Without giving too much away. We can't give that away at the moment, but you're going to see some great footage over the next few weeks on the podcast. Folks.
Yeah.
We've got some really good, cool stuff lined up. Right, let's get into League of Ireland quickly. Get your quick fire. Obviously, I put up the fantasy because you're fantasy fans as well. It was the top 5 fantasy League of Ireland points.
I didn't do it, and I'm a little bit upset that I didn't do it.
Jump on it this week, no?
No, because you're a week out, sure. You'll have missed a week. So how can you?
Yeah.
I'll leave it out. But what I'll do is I'll probably try and zoom in a little bit more on the league now, with a view that when we come to kind of next season and stuff like that, I know where I'm going with this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, very good, the boy Vata. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what's he done? Oh, what has he done? Ball came over the top, and the Molde keeper comes out with it. And as he comes out, he just like dummies it almost, and it goes past him. Now nobody breaks on it, so it's a bit lucky. Rovers have dropped off a little bit since Molde have gone out to 10 men. And I think again, maybe their plan is to sit and kind of retain energy for the first 15 and then go hell for leather for the second 15. Maybe that's the plan. Sit, just keep things tight, keep it ticking, because if we can sting them late on, they ain't coming back from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out as well to James Norris, Liverpool player at the moment, who was signed on for Shells, I think, for the season. So it's going to be interesting to follow him as well.
What do we know about him? Where does he play?
I know absolutely nothing about the boy at all. I have to look.
A Liverpool player that you know nothing about. Come on, Noel. Will you do better, son?
I haven't had a look because I'm trying to cover everything these days. Good Lord, yeah, absolutely. I will investigate and do a bit of work on him and all. But great to see him coming over, and what a brilliant video from Shells the other day as well to announce.
And great to see the boy James Talbot back in action for Bowles, the goalkeeper, who I know has had his own issues off the pitch, and great to see him back there in the Aviva last weekend playing for Bowles. And getting himself back to where he should be. So well done, James. Fair play to you, pal. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get into it then. Derry versus Bows.
1-1. I think Bows had a great win last weekend, but I think it was probably because Rovers had another eye on tonight. I think Derry were put to the sword by Shells. Andrew was at the Shells game on Friday night. Half time, Shells were 3-1 up, and the ESB failed. Now it came back on. Thankfully, they were able to get it fixed, which meant the game could continue. But Shells really put them to the sword. I think this weekend, back at that Ryan McBride Brandywell, you'll see a little bit of a different side of Derry. But I'm going to go 1-1 here.
Derry Girls FC, my kind of team. Drogheda versus Sligo.
Yeah, Drogheda came out with a really good result last weekend away at Pats.
Away at Pats 0-0. Yeah.
Away at Pats, yeah. They had a serious amount of chances. Didn't manage to get over the line. Sorry. Drogheda hanging in there, defending, throwing bodies on the line, keeper the good game, everything. So I think, going back home this weekend, Drogheda will probably look to try and get a win on the board. And I'm gonna go with Drogheda. I think this weekend, I'll go 2-1 Drogheda. I'm
gonna go the opposite. I think Sligo will win 2-1.
Okay.
I looked at Sligo last week and I thought they played some really nice football. So we shall see. Galway versus St. Pat's. St. Pat's will want to get their points on the board here, will they? But tough going away to Galway. Galway play good football.
Yeah, they do. I think, listen, Pat's obviously created enough chances to win 2 games last weekend. And bumped into a goalkeeper having one of them days, and probably missed a few more chances than they would usually. I don't think that'll happen this weekend. I think Pats will do it. And I actually think they'll put a few past Galway. I'm going to go Pats 4-0.
Good, big shout. Waterford versus Shelbourne. This could be a pinball game. Do you see the way Waterford play with that freedom and all?
Yeah, and obviously, Porrigamon and stuff like that. Of course, not Porrigamon. Porrigamon coming back into the league and stuff like that. And I think Sean Maguire has gone there as well, hasn't he? Has Maguire gone there? Has he gone to Cork?
We spoke about it last week, didn't we, or the week before?
I thought he was gone to, hang on, I'll be able, by the power of Google, or by the power of whatever we're looking at here, we'll be able to see where he went. I thought he went to Waterford, but something else was telling me he went to Cork. Give me a second.
I think we said the same thing on the last show, didn't we?
Sorry, he went to Cork. He did go to Cork.
Yeah.
No, it'll be the boy Porrigamon and stuff like that at Waterford. They'll trouble shells. They'll trouble shells. I'd be interested to see if the boy Norris is involved in the squad. I imagine he will be. And I think the boy Odebeko had a decent game the other night as well. Didn't get on the score sheet, but caused a little bit of havoc. And the boy Sean Boyd was able to score and stuff like that. So I think I'll go Shells. But I'll go Shells, in a tasty game, maybe 2-1.
Nice. And then bottom, Shamrock Rovers versus Cork.
I think this game is so difficult to call until we know the outcome of this game tonight.
It's a long night for Rovers as well.
It's a real long night for Rovers. I think Cork, obviously coming up here, will be fresh. Rovers are going to go one of two ways. They both probably end the same way, because if Rovers win here tonight, surely there's going to be a bit of a celebration. That means Friday is a difficult day, and Saturday are probably maybe working on team shape and stuff like that. They could possibly get over the line, square it, hit it. Oh, deflection. Whereas I think if they lose tonight, I think they'll be on the floor. I think they'll absolutely be on the floor after everything given.
Yeah.
So I think 100%. We'll wait until the end of this one to give that one. If it's still going, my prediction is if Rovers get through tonight, they'll beat Cork. If Rovers don't get through tonight, they'll drop points and we might see a draw.
And I think from what I read as well, I don't think they've any players due back either as well.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so I think that might be a factor as well. And I thought Cork last week were really, really good. Real good advertisement for the league as well, that game last week. And said it on the show. So there we go.
That's a good ball. Hang on now. Go wide.
Spoke about the run in. We'll talk about the Champions League tomorrow, because obviously the draws tomorrow.
There's space here for Rovers with Mulder being down to 10 men. There's space in certain areas of the pitch. Mulder are trying to keep things very compact through the centre, and there's space being given away out wide. Rovers, though, keep trying to go through the middle where there's an awful lot of bodies. This is going to take, that's a great bit of skill. This is going to take Rovers to be very, very clever, create that little barrier in front of the backs, push the ball into those wide areas, and very quickly get that ball in early, create space between the back four, back five, and the goalkeeper, and try and get a nick on it, try and get an OG, try and get, a bounce up off a hand, just something, but create a bit of havoc, create a bit of confusion. But they're too slow, and they're playing the ball into areas where Mulder can handle it. So they've got to change this. They've got to change this if they want to get over the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to open it up a bit and just be a little, tad bit braver, just that tad bit braver. Go for it. You know what I mean?
To be honest, they've got control of the ball and they've been moving it about nicely. But there's certain options. The ball got cleared from the last corner, and there's a guy going down the right hand side, and he's the ball, and it comes very, very centrally, and the ball comes to one of the Rovers players, and he tries to play a ball through 3 or 4 centre defenders. And Ivan Needle stuff, and it bounces back and it ricochets, and then they get to reset, and you're just like, just feed it out to the wings, just allow someone to caress something into that penalty area, and just get everyone running towards that goal, and something will happen. This keeper hasn't looked great, by the way, on the night or last week.
I think if you keep on going with that battering ram approach, I think you're going to end up in penalties.
Give him wide. He's done it again. There's a runner out wide. There's an overlap due, and he's tucked back in, and he put the ball in on the inside, and there's nothing. Playing on the out, Bradley's pulling his hair out on the sideline. They've looked past 2 overlaps in the last minute and a half, which would have been much better opportunities, because again, they're taking the ball away from the keeper then, rather than bringing it on top of him where he can claim and control the area,
Yeah, and the longer this goes on, more of an anxiety will appear in the stadium.
That is brilliant work.
You don't want that lottery of penalties.
Who's that? I think that's McAniff. That's brilliant from him. Wins the ball in the midfield. Bend it. Oh, unlucky. There's a great piece of play here. Great battling. It is McAniff. Goes in. He's one-on-one with one of the Mulder boys. Wins the tackle on the floor. Gets back up. Puts the body in his way. Drives with the ball. Feeds the ball out wide to the runner, and the runner gets on the outside and tries to bend it in. Now, it's cleared by the centre-back, but they've created the space in the right area. But the battling in the midfield is just super. It's everything you want from...
Feels like Mulder's on the ropes, doesn't it?
It seems like Mulder are on the ropes half an hour now.
Yeah.
You know, I hope.
You got to make it pay off them.
Absolutely. Don't go narrow. Go back out where, yes. Let him caress it back in. That's a good ball. Oh, that's okay. That'll do. Back another corner from Rovers.
Yeah, absolutely. Celtic so unlucky against Bayern as well.
So unlucky.
Absolutely.
So unlucky. Are we underestimating? Are we underestimating? Thanks, Romy. How good of a job Brendan Rodgers has done with Celtic. I think Brendan Rodgers, obviously being Celtic manager and coming down, and obviously he was in charge of Leicester and he was in charge of Aston Villa and stuff like that. And I think the knowledge that he's garnered while he was there has certainly made him a better manager. And he's gone back up to Celtic. And I think he learned a lot of the lessons that he probably came up against previously at Celtic. And I think he has Celtic absolutely pouring. I think they're playing really good football. It's a really good, attractive brand of football, but also a really competitive brand of football because they're winning games week on week and they're competitive in Europe. They've been competitive all season in Europe. In every game they've played, they've been very, very good.
I made the point the other night. I think I was talking to Warren, it was, and I made the point after the game. He was so disappointed now, but so proud of them as well, because we know Warren's a big, Scottish League fan and stuff like that. Now. But I made the point is, in order for Celtic, like that's a great show the other night. It's excellent and all. But what I said about it was as well is, if Celtic had a better level of competition week in, week out in the league, it wouldn't be as much of a step up when they go into Europe. Whereas, as I said the other night, if you're playing St. Mirren and then you're going to Bayern Munich, it's a massive step up as well. And
absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And you know, even obviously when they're playing in Scotland and the SPL and stuff like that, the standard of everything in the SPL isn't great. The standard of refereeing is shocking. The standard of the pitches in the SPL is shocking. The stadiums, the facilities, it's very poor. It's really, really poor. And then it's difficult when you make it to the big stage because you feel like you're on the big stage. You know, and that's part of the pressure.
You're nearly in awe of it.
You are, absolutely. The one thing I will say about Celtic, their recruitment over the last couple of years has been fantastic. Celtic always recruited quite well, but I think at times they got sucked into that. We'll buy the best players in the league. And you know, that works to a level. But then when you go to the next level, maybe it doesn't work. Whereas I think now they're looking and they're buying players. And you're thinking, this guy could get into teams. He could go here. He could go there. I think the recruitment has been very, very good. And they've made some big, big money on a lot of their sales, which means then that they can obviously go and reinvest in the squad, which is great for them and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, that's a half time and extra time at the moment. So Rovers really need. I want Rovers. They need to find a goal in this half of extra time. They don't want to go to penalty.
No, absolutely not. Not when Molde have played, 35 minutes with 10 men. No, Rovers need to go and win this 100%. I think Stephen Bradley will push. I don't think he'll want. I don't think he'll want the pressure of penalties. You don't want
a scenario where it goes to penalties and someone like Michael Noonan steps up. This is
an opportunity to go and win the game. Now, if you have an opportunity to go and win the game, don't go and draw it and get yourself dragged into a penalty shootout and stuff like that. This is your chance. They've 15 minutes. They've 10 men. Run them ragged. Create a mistake. Create an error. Press them in the right areas of the pitch. Step up higher. Leave them a bit of space over the top. Get your keeper up higher. But compress them into that area. Make sure you suffocate them. You do not let them breathe. Do you know?
Yeah, 100%. Open up, make them open it up a bit.
They've just made a change, and it looks to be a positive change. I'm not going to try and say this lad's name because I know I will butcher it. They've brought on Victor. That's what I'm going to call him. His first name
That's
is
okay.
Victor. Ossian Vuna, I think his name is. They brought him on. He looks quite young. He is quite young. He's 16. He's 16. That's why he looks quite young. And he's only turned 16 on the 10th of January, which means he is younger than Michael Noonan, which is...
if you're saying the bench, they're down to the absolute bare bones.
Which is
and
hard
they're missing
to believe.
key. They're missing key senior players as well.
But they've brought off their right-sided centre-back in Joshua Honahan, and they've brought this lad on. Now they've made another substitution as well, where they brought Aaron Green in and stuff like that. But he's pushing. He's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
he really is. This is clever.
Right, but give us let's have your bets so we can we'll go back to it then.
Yeah, absolutely. Bets was no idea what that's me photographs anyway. I have gone 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've done my 3 usuals for you. Okay. I've done my result on both to score. It's not amazing. It's 28-1. It's 3 wins and 6 teams to score. I've gone Bournemouth against Wolves. I've gone Spurs against Ipswich, and I've got Newcastle against Forest. It's 28-1. It's nothing special. It's nothing flashy. But I think it might be a way of picking yourself up, a couple of pounds. So that's what I'm going with.
I've none of them, but I've huge odds for you this week in all 3 bets.
I'm gonna go on my 3 first. I'm gonna get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on my second bet, which is also 28-1. And this is an anytime. He's tasty, this kid. Great ball in the box. He's done very well. This kid is 16. He gets the ball down the left-hand side and he's chopping in and out on the fullback, and the fullback doesn't know where to go. He eventually goes on the outside and whips the ball across the front. And do you know what I think happens? I saw a picture earlier on from ground level at Rovers, and the corner flag was nearly sideways with the wind, so it's quite windy out there. And as he puts the cross in, it's actually not a bad cross, but the wind catches it and just brings it across the front into the keeper's hands. Jeez, that's a great tackle.
There you go. He's delighted with your tactics tonight. Roll me.
Thanks, pal. That is, there's a great tackle in the midfield here. The boy Grant goes in and wins the ball really, really cleanly. And the referee gives the free against him. And then to add salt in the wound, he books him for it. Like, what are you doing?
Tasty. That's what your weather says. There you go.
Brilliant.
Right, what's your next one? Goal scorer or?
Yeah, it's to score or assist. So I really like what I've seen so far from the boy Matthias Tell. Really like it. I bigged him up before he came into the league. I've seen him quite a few times at Bayern. I think this kid is going to be a superstar. I really do. So I'm going Tell. I'm going a guy. Roy might need to close his ears at this stage because this one will hurt a little bit. This kid's in super form at the minute. And that's one Justin Kluivert. It's been so good. Another assist last weekend from. I've got the boy Kevin Shade because I think at times he can be overshadowed by Brian Mbeumo and Johan Wiese, but he's a really tidy player. The boy Shade. He's a German under 21 international. He was linked with Borussia Dortmund in the January window, and he's a really tidy player. I've gone Kevin Shade, and then this is a moment that I hope to look back on and be wrong. But if there's anybody in the league, get in. Oh, it's great. It's great from Rovers again. Noonan, just in front of the keeper, steals in for the header, but just can't direct it. The centre-back is all over him, in fairness. He's done well to get it ahead of it, but he just can't deflect it goalwards. I've gone for the boy Beto at Everton. He's in great form at the minute. He is a big handful. He's hassling and harrying defenders. He's high on confidence, so he's taking the goals well. And he's a really good sort of focal point up front for Everton and brings everything in around him. So Matthias Tell, Kevin Shaddy, Justin Kluivert, and Beto against United, 28-1.
Okay.
And then I round out with one of my other favourite bets. It's always one of my three. And it's player to be shown a card. Now, we did talk about how we thought, or I spoke about how I thought one Axel Tuanzebe might have a difficult weekend last weekend.
And he sure did.
He sure red card before halftime. He was a little bit unlucky, but at the same time, I think it didn't happen.
They should nearly give you a 10% bonus, don't you, on that card to be shown if it's a red then. Shouldn't they? They should give you some sort of a little bonus.
I definitely feel like, you're getting shortchanged. 100%, I agree.
Yeah.
This weekend, I'm going with another player playing against Aston Villa. A very combative player in the middle of that Chelsea midfield, one Moise Caicedo. Because I think Villa in the midfield have been very, very good. The boy Rodgers has been excellent. And the boy Tielemans has been phenomenal. So I'm going to go Caicedo. I've gone for Joachim Andersen at home against Fulham. He'll probably go head-to-head with the boy Jean-Philippe Mateta, who has been excellent and is an ex teammate of his. And sometimes guys know how to wind you up. I get the feeling that might happen this weekend. So I'm going Caicedo and I'm going Anderson. And I'm rounding out with Leicester's only January signing, which was the boy Wayo Koulibaly. He plays left back. They brought him in from Parma, 3.5 million. He's a tidy player, but I think he's marking Brian and Mbeumo this weekend. And we know how good the boy Mbeumo is. We're big fans of his. And I think maybe that might be too much for him. But if you want decent value, 3 cards, 40-1. Koulibaly, Leicester, Anderson, Fulham, and Caicedo, Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he definitely looked better at the weekend than he has looked. He did for a number of weeks there, just look absolutely drained by the Spurs experience at the moment. But I thought the game at the weekend, I thought he was a bit more like himself, to be honest.
And don't forget, we've also got the contract situation, because at the minute he's free to speak to whoever he wants outside of the UK.
Yeah.
So I know there's been mentions of him going here and going there, and he's obviously going to be a free transfer come the summer if they don't sign an extension. So that's probably playing with his mind a little bit as well. I do think he looks better when he has a focal point beside him, though. I don't like him as the 9. I know he does a job and he's always puts a shift in for Spurs. But when you get him on that left-hand side, you get the ball at his feet and you get him moving and stuff like that. He's a better player.
Yeah, absolutely. Spurs celebrating they got Bergvall and we didn't keep him. He's honking.
Very good, the boy Bergvall. Very good.
Yep, not too bad. Well, I did 3 bets this week and they're all resulting about the score.
Oh, look at you now, huh?
There you go. So the first one is the smallest odds at 183-1. So there you go. So I went on a mad one this week. I blew it out there. Vegas is coming up, so we need to get
so we need. Yeah, we're looking to hear that ka-ching noise.
So I went for Brentford and about to score tomorrow night.
That's definitely not a stretch, right?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Everton and about to score. Everton, Man United.
I called it, so I can't say it's a stretch then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good odds as well, 4-1. And then I went for Fulham and about to score. Fulham versus Palace. You said that game could be quite tight.
I think it'll be tight as a duck's arse.
I edged with Fulham because they're at home. And then I rounded it out then with Brighton versus Southampton. Brighton about to score.
And that's 100 and what?
That's 183-1. 184-1.
There's no great stretch in that at all, is there?
I wouldn't have thought so. It's nothing stupid.
I think the toughest part of that could be getting us to fucking score.
Potentially, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. But they're bound to cop up one, aren't they?
No, they've been decent.
Now, the other one I did, which was, and I kind of went a little bit against my team, which is totally different to what you thought. This one is 539 to 1.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
It's like 540 to 1 to round it out. So
Yeah,
I started off-
let's round it out. New
This is
rule,
four.
always round up, yeah?
This is 4 draws, yeah? 4 draws with result of both
4
the score,
draws.
right? 4 draws. So the first one I went with is Arsenal versus West Ham. I think it'll be a tight game. Could end up being a draw. Praying.
Right.
Aston Villa Chelsea. I went as well with both the
Right.
score and a draw. Because I wonder will Aston Villa kind of be out celebrating the draw tomorrow, maybe in the Champions League, something like that. Let's see what happens. Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest again. That's not one you picked as a draw. You went with Newcastle.
No, but it's also not a stretch to believe it could be a draw either.
Well, I think with the likes of Chris Wood and your team, Woods and your team and stuff like that, you always have an opportunity, don't you?
100%.
And then I went with Man City versus Liverpool, result in both the score and a draw. So again, nothing crazy in there. You want a little bit to go your way, a little bit.
It's phenomenal value. It's get up off the ground, will you? It's phenomenal value. Molde have all of a sudden turned into Atletico Madrid. There's a 50-50 down the line here. And the Rovers boy goes shoulder to shoulder with him and just shoulders the Molde player over. And he goes down and falls down on the ball and he's rolling around and there's time ticking away. And, you know, you can see Diego Simeone on the bench is like, slow it down. Very good, Romy. Another change coming for Rovers. A lot of nail biting going on here in the crowd. Who's he bringing on? He's bringing on O'Sullivan, it looks like. And he's bringing off...
I think he has to go for it, doesn't he?
He has. He certainly has. Is he bringing off the boy Noonan, maybe? He might be taking... No, he's not. He's taking off O'Neill.
Okay. I'll give you
There's a little bit of chatter going on. He's telling him where to go for the centre, for the set pieces and stuff like that. Sorry, O'Reilly O'Sullivan, his name is, a big double barreler.
There you go. Not one for the jersey. My League of Ireland bet this week is a result about the score as well, and it's worth 405 to 1. Always great value in the League of Ireland. So I had Derry versus Bows, result about the score, a draw.
Put it in. Tidy, this kid. The kid that come on, Victor. He's very tidy. Great ball back inside, by the way. Give it back out to him. Open yourself out. Whip it. Good ball. Oh, unlucky. Sorry.
And then I went with Galway versus St. Pat's, and I did St. Pat's and both the score.
Right.
Yeah, and just to let you know, Galway versus St. Pat's on both the score is 9-2 on its own. It's great value. And then I went with Shelbourne versus Waterford. Shelbourne away at Waterford. Result about the score, Shelbourne. That's 4-1. And then I went with Rovers versus Cork City. Rovers at home, but again, pending how tonight goes and all. Rovers and both the score. And the 4 of those, a draw, Pats, Shelbourne and Rovers, 405 to 1.
It's huge odds, isn't it?
Massive odds. Now, it's very difficult to get a bet up in the League of Ireland. I have to say. It's tough. But the odds are great if you can land on it, you know what I mean? Like that's
like
a fiver there is giving you 2.
Well, I'm sure if you started paying a bit more attention to it, you know, you'd find it easier. Obviously, when we weren't big fans of the league, or when we weren't as invested as we are at the minute, you know, it's harder to get a bet up. But I think when you start watching it week to week and you start understanding who players are and how teams travel on the road and what teams play well against other teams, I think then it'll be easier, especially because is there only 10 teams in the league?
Yeah.
10 teams in the league. So, I mean, like, you know, you're going to see form build. He's won the free kick out wide here, this kid again, Victor.
It's just so competitive.
I'd love so. That's a great look at this. He stands up, right? He stands up the centre back or the right full, and he goes for the step overs, and he's doing the step overs as the ball is traveling, right? So huge pressure. This kid step over, and invites the challenge and knocks the ball out of his feet and takes the hit straight back up, and it's a free kick for Rovers out wide in the touchline now. 119 minutes, Just about to strike. Not a bad ball either, you know. Still alive. Win the second one. Win the second ball. Yes. Stand it up. It's the good
See you
effort.
later,
Great
mate.
ball. Keeper has it in his hands.
Corner, is it?
No. Keeper has it in his hands. It's a
What minute are you in there?
1:19:12.
Yeah, I'm about 40 seconds ahead of you here.
Okay.
So I'll keep stump because you're giving me commentary. I'm tracking
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. You're ahead of me, right?
Yeah, I'm ahead of you by about 40 seconds.
It's a great ball. Great ball. Go on. Release. Was this where we get the corner? Might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Niall, it's a Rovers corner.
I should be putting these bets on, shouldn't I?
Come on. Come on. Suck that ball in. Suck it in. Let's go. Very windy. You've got to make sure, I haven't seen it, obviously, maybe you have. You got to make sure you don't give the keeper a chance to come for this. He's a very big lad, the goalkeeper. He's about 6'4", 6'5". Do not give him a chance to come and get hands on this. That's a shocking corner. That's shocking.
Got 2 minutes of added time as well.
2 minutes of added time to come. We're 30 seconds in. Sorry, 1 minute of added time. +1, he says. We're 30 seconds in. Right, so it's gonna be penalties for Shamrock Rovers.
It is.
By the looks of it. It's gonna be penalties, which is very hard on Stephen Bradley. Now listen, touch wood. We want to see Rovers get over the line here. The one thing that I will say is this lad's a big, big goalkeeper. He's going to fill a lot of this goal when it gets to penalties.
Definitely
there we are.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will look at this lad and think this will be handy. Now, the one thing I will say is he absolutely won't get down to them bottom corners as well as he would as if he was 5-6 inches smaller. So you've got to be clever with this. You got to be picking corners and you got to be absolutely drilling it. Anything, a foot, 2-3 feet off the ground, I think the keeper's going to gobble stuff up here. So you got to be clever. You got to be clever. And I think power is important because it'll hopefully take the ball past him before he has a chance to get to it because he won't move like a cat at that size,
This is really, really important. This will be so disappointing. They've had chances. Are we gonna stick with it?
Oh, absolutely.
May as well. I'm on a Liverpool one at 11, but we should be well done at that stage.
A Liverpool podcast?
Yeah, I'm on Anfield Road TV with Jack at 11. He asked me to go on, so I said yeah, because that's what I do.
I am going to turn off the notifications on my phone
so we can
watch it.
Hopefully, we're synced up as well.
Well, we can talk about it as we go, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who am I going to talk, or are you going to talk, or who's going to talk?
You can talk. We'll share it.
Wouldn't be like me to talk, Noel, would it?
No.
Right, so I'm watching Bradley talk to the Rovers boys at the minute. Rovers are in the little circle. They're coming in. We've now gone to Mulder. Mulder the same. Manager's in the middle. He's having a bit of a yap. He's telling the boys, listen, we haven't come all this way to go home without a win. Rovers are gone back to Bradley. Bradley's got the finger up. He's telling them, you get one chance at this. You get one chance. Do not let this chance slip through your fingers. Because tomorrow morning, you've got to go back to the very start of this Europa. You've got to go 8 games on the bounce. You've got to it's 6 in the conference, isn't it? You have 6 games. You've then got to go home and away as 8 games. Like, there's a lot to do. This keeper, this big molded keeper, has a big, juicy smile on his face.
I say that, yeah.
He looks like he is relishing what's about to happen here.
Come on, Rovers. This is
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a name on him here. Let me see here. So it's Karlstrom is the keeper, and Ed McGinty for Shamrock Rovers here. This is probably one of the biggest moments in Airtricity League history, I would imagine.
This
And
is
it's not
so,
even happening in the Airtricity League, which is
this will be
phenomenal.
massive if Rovers can get through this.
Massive.
Fingers
Right.
crossed.
Which end are we going to? Are you with the ref tossing the coin with the boys, or where are you?
The two boys just walked in there now with the refs talking to them.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's literally has the coin in his hand. He's giving it. This is heads. This is tails. One is picking ends, and then the other one is picking blah blah. Yeah. So here's the coin. You're gonna pick. I'm gonna toss. Don't do it in front of the lads, and go. Right, Rovers have won the toss, so they've chosen an end.
Yeah,
which means
right for us, isn't it? Right end for us.
They've gone for the which looks to be the Rovers fans, I assume. I can only imagine you're going to take it in front of your own fans.
It'd be a massive mistake if they didn't.
And then they're tossing the coin again.
Who goes first?
And then right. And it looks like Mulder will take the first penalty at the Rovers' end. That's what I can make out from it. Yeah. Now I don't have any. Have any commentary or audio. So yeah, Ed McGinty. I'm just looking at him on the sideline. This is a great moment for goalkeepers. There is no downside to being a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout. You're not expected to save one, but if you do, you're the hero. Absolutely. I loved penalty shootouts. I have to tell you, this was my opportunity to kind of shine. And
the focus is on you.
Yeah, but also because I'm a little bit like that, But also, I like the idea of you versus me. That was always something I was, and I'd always back myself in that. And you can get very, very psychological as a goalkeeper. Did
you love 1-on-1 spreading yourself nice and big? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I was all about it. Right, Rovers take the first penalty.
Take the first pen as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see this here. Right, who's on the walk?
Look at how young that lineup looks for Rovers.
Yeah,
kids there who could become absolute folklore heroes tonight.
Right, let's see.
Let's go.
First up for Shamrock Rovers. Couldn't tell you who that is now, to be honest with you. Turn around, let's see the back here. Is it Healy?
Healy, yeah.
Okay. The boy Healy from Rovers against Carlton.
So important to bag the first one. Let's go.
Healy looks a little bit nervous here. This is big.
Or focused.
1-0 Rovers.
Yes.
Very good. Sends the keeper the wrong way.
Lovely short run up and everything.
Run up. Pulls it across the front of the keeper. Keeper goes the wrong way. It's a decent penalty. He's hit the side netting. I mean, even if the keeper goes the right way, it's a tough save to make. 1-0 Rovers, and you're on the board, and now all the pressure is on Mulder. Right. Mulder, the striker, or it's their number 9. Anyway.
Keeper getting the fans going. See that? Love it. Come on.
So the next penalty from Rovers.
Over the spot and all. Look, he's deadly, and this lad shit house.
This is. I'm telling you, this is what you want. Right,
absolutely.
McGinty's here. He's on his line. He's got his hands out. He's been having a bit of chat. You know what? This lad looks like he wants this.
He looks like he's well up for it, doesn't he?
He goes the right way. Oh,
seeing it there now.
Oh shit! He goes the right way.
That was so close, I'd say.
Oh, he doesn't touch it, but he must. Let me see here. And he steps early.
Do you know if he's the size of the keeper,
he stops it? Yeah, you're right. And you know what? He may get a tip on it.
Yeah.
Up next, Shamrock Rovers, 16 years of age, Michael Noonan.
More history after
Wow.
Come on,
Mate, kid.
In the bottom corner. Let's go.
Come on, kid.
Look at Bradley. Can't even look. Come on. Let's go, kid.
Come on, kid. Ah, 2-1 Rovers.
Yes. Lovely penalty as well. Up into the top.
Really, really good penalty.
How nice is it to see kids that age with balls of steel as well, isn't it?
Balls of steel.
And you notice these short run-ups, now acting the maggot or anything.
No, because you don't lose any inertia into the back of the ball. It's quick, it's sharp, it's short. It's a great penalty.
The boy Lookman should be watching this, should he? Just saying.
It's a great penalty. Now, the referee is over the boy McGinty.
Yeah. He's
The
giving
boy
it away.
Karlstrom, the keeper Karlstrom, has the ball in his hands. McGinty's having a bit of chat. The keeper won't allow the Molde player come and get the ball until McGinty goes to the line. The ref is there. McGinty now has the arms up. He's calling the fans. He's trying to psych them out. This is absolutely
this safe.
super.
This lad doesn't fancy this at all. This Molde
No, he
player.
doesn't by the
This
looks
could
of
be
it.
a safe.
Right, here we go. Big deep breath. Up he steps. Come on, McGinty. Come on, McGinty. Oh, what a penalty. Jeez.
Oh, you're not saving that. Oh my God. Hell, we read that wrong, didn't we? How wrong did we read that?
Well, do you know what?
And that's okay.
It's funny because I would say that's borderline. Like, that looks amazing. But 6 inches more left or height, he's missed that. Yeah. Like, that's... I don't imagine...
That's unsavable at that height, isn't it, though?
Yeah, but I don't imagine he's trying to put it right there.
Who's up here?
Rovers. Is it... I don't know who it is, but he's missed. It's Green. Is it Aaron Green?
That's a terrible penalty.
It's Green. It's terrible.
Did he hit the ground or something?
It's so poor. Now,
that's a
I don't know which part is worst. The part that before he steps up to take the penalty, he's hawking the corner. He's gonna put it in, and then eventually, when he goes to take it, the studs go through the ground and it slows the whole thing down.
There isn't even a bit of power on it at all.
And now he's waiting on the boy McGinty to bail him out.
He got out of town pretty quick as well, didn't he? Like he stepped up and he was barely placing the ball and he was kicking it. Like.
Right, Big Ed. Come on, kid. Let's go. Let's go. Your team needs you. It's time for a hero. Gives him the eyes. A great penalty. Gives him the eyes. McGinty goes and he whips it past him. It's a great penalty.
This doesn't play out right now. This is going to be a sickener for Rovers. Did that go in off the side of the post?
I think it does, yeah. Yeah, it hits the inside of the post.
Yeah, different to the flight of the ball, yeah.
And it's the top spin that takes it in. He's a little bit lucky.
Yeah. Could have went wide.
Right, it's the boy O'Reilly O'Sullivan.
This the guy who just came on.
Yes, needs to score here.
Come on, lad.
That's a great penalty. Well done.
Oh, brilliant.
Great penalty, very good.
I was real for the net ones are unsavable.
Keep giving your mate a chance to do you a favour. Keep giving your mate a chance. It's a great penalty. Strikes that really well.
Isn't it? Fair play to Bradley as well, picking the kids to take them as well.
Yeah, he's letting them do their thing.
Like he's putting the kids out there to do it. There's no way. Yeah, very good. Right. The
keeper's coming out again. He's trying to talk to your man who's putting the ball down. The ref is having absolutely none of it.
Yeah.
But McGinty is right. He's got to try and get in someone's head. He's got to try and psych someone out. He's got to try and make that eye contact and tell him you're going to miss this ball.
Surely one of these Molde players ain't going to fancy.
This boy doesn't look overly confident.
No, we said that about
this lad does not look confident. He's just knocked it down the middle. McGinty's dived past it. Is he giving it the old "We Love Jesus" on the t-shirt?
Boy, always
something about God. No, something about God.
They kill God or something. He said, is it?
He's gone. You know what? That's as bad as a penalty as you'll see anywhere. That's a terrible penalty. He just gets lucky that the keeper doesn't go the right way, which means Shamrock Rovers. If Rovers score, Molde have an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's McAniff with the penalty. He was very good.
This is a must.
Come
on, lad.
Very good. Does well. Puts it away. Puts it away. Okay, listen.
Balls of steel for that, isn't it?
Yeah, so you've put 4 out of 5 in.
He's literally rolled that up the middle.
Yeah, he's waiting for your man to go, and he's just...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nice. Right, so... Who's going to step up for Molde and be the hero here? Or is it going to be Ed McGinty's moment to shine?
Surely one of them has to mess up.
Is it a centre-back? That looks like a centre-back. He's a baldy lad with number 5 on his back.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Let me see here.
Maybe
come off the bench. Yeah, he came off the bench by the looks of it. It's Hestad.
So he's
stepping
fresh.
up. Yeah, he's come off the bench. He's stepping up. It's a short run up. He's still inside the box. McGinty's chance. Does he go left, which he had with the rest of them? He's gone the opposite way, and Mulder are through.
That's a sickener.
They score 5 out of 5 and make things difficult.
You got to feel like they got away with one there, don't you?
They've absolutely gotten away with one there. 100%.
Battered them second half and all of extra time.
100%. Who's the fall on then?
Bradley be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, to go that far and to fall short is difficult. I suppose we spoke about it earlier. To have the opportunity 11v10 and to allow it to go this far was part of the problem. This game should never have made it to penalties. And as it made it to penalties, it probably increased the likelihood of Mulder getting over the line. You know?
Yeah. Disappointing though, but listen, congrats to Rovers as well on what they did this year in Europe, you have to say.
Absolutely. It was the substitute, Aaron Green, came on in the 89th minute and unfortunately wasn't able to put the penalty away, and it's his miss that sends Shamrock Rovers.
And just a real error for the goal as well, you know?
Yeah.
Real error for the goal in normal time, you know? Bradley be sick. Fair play to him though, looking, you know, so many injuries and have to field the kids and stuff like that. The only thing is he's unearthed a little bit of talent there, hasn't he?
He sure has. And the boy Victor that come on just before the end of the normal time was a really tidy looking player as well. So there's more talent on that production line, isn't there?
Yeah. There we go.
Right.
Until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. We'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers, bud.